The knife is a Bradford Guardian in CPM Magna Cut. I bought this at Blade Show 2023 this year. Magna Cut, at least on this model, has impressed me a lot. Spyderco decided to use CPM Magna Cut in their Salt series. Salt series is known for its ability to resist rust around for aquatic ocean environments. Now, I've always used chapstick as kind of my daily driver as a rust preventative measure. I decided to actually test that out recently. I saw some thread posts about K390 rusting a lot. My apologies for doing a steady or holding my phone in my hand, because I definitely want to show you the results of what my testing actually was. What I decided to do, I decided to use rainwater as kind of my water humidity environment. Tap water would work just fine, but I decided to use rainwater because I feel like a lot of people, their knives get rusted out just being in the rain. More so the rain than like ocean environments. This is just my opinion. Now, what I decided to do was I decided to use 2 coats of chapstick. This is the candy cane. This is the one I use for the testing. And I would apply 2 coats to K390 maxamet, Crewwear, CTS BD1N, and Rex 45. This one scored the highest in Laren's chart, so I figured this would be the control. I believe he didn't have anything for Rex 45, but K390 and maxamet being very on the low side, like 3.9, 4.3, somewhere around that range. Now, what the testing actually was, I put 2 coats of chapstick. Chapstick is basically mineral oil in a wax formula or a wax package. And I would put 2 coats on there, and I would let the knives sit for about a good hour. And then I would dunk these guys in the rainwater. I would put the rainwater in a crock pot, and I would let it sit for 40 minutes. 40 minutes to hopefully deteriorate the wax chapstick barrier. And after 40 minutes, I would pull them out, and I would like drain off the excess a little bit, and then I would leave them closed, and I'd lay them flat. Realistically, what you'd want to do is you would want to open them up, and you want to have them hanging down, or you would actually want to maybe even hold them on a hook. Lanyard holes make great. You could put a coat hanger in there and you just let it hang and let the rainwater actually come out. You could use an air compressor to actually blow the water out. Now, after 40 minutes, I would let the knives just sit out flat. I would let them dry out, air dry out, and then the next day I would actually open them up, take pictures of how well the chapstick actually prevented rust. I would wipe it down with a little bit of a Windex, because I'm going to actually clean the blades if I know they're going to be out in the water. Now, 40 minutes is a long time, in my opinion, to actually be in the water. I clean it up with some Windex, reapply 2 coats of chapstick, let it sit for about an hour, and then I would redunk it in the water 40 minutes. Now, after that, I would repeat the cycle and do it again and again and again and again. I always say that chapstick is the most convenient method to actually maintain your knives from rust, corrosion, that kind of stuff. It's not going to beat steels like H1, Vanix. However, dollar tube of chapstick, general maintenance, taking care of it, analyzing what's going on with your blade, I think this could actually hold up very well. However, I've never really tested it out. So I wanted to actually test it out to see how well it would hold up. Most testing you see, it's a lot of ignorance that's on display. I'm doing some ignorance and some of what I would normally do anyways. Just because if you're going to be completely negligent, then MagnaCut may be the better steel for you. Now, after 4 days, I really haven't found any dramatic changing in results. The BD1N is obviously the highest one, so that's the control. However, if I am going to be around an ocean environment and I am going to be, or a water environment, it will cause rust. Best thing you can do is actually wipe your blade off after use. Now, even if you're doing a work day, I would apply coats throughout the day. Use your shirt, use a napkin, wipe it down, put a couple coats on there. Now, after 4 days of testing, this is K390. Okay, I'm really not seeing any results or any rust formation on there at all. K390 scored, I believe, the lowest on Laren's chart. But after 4 days of testing, this is the leaf jumper, slowly becoming one of my favorite Spydercos. It's got the ergos of the stretch, and I like the fact that the edge is closer to where your index finger actually is. No jimping on the actual the thumb ramp, which I actually am a fan of. This knife is starting to become one of my favorites. Sage and maxamet. Now, I haven't cleaned these off with the Windex yet. This is me taking it straight out or letting it air dry. I haven't done any cleaning on this guy. This is after day 4 of testing. Now, I'll post a video later on of me just dunking the knives in the crock pot with the rainwater and putting the lid on top of it. But as you can tell, it worked. Now, I do feel that there is better options than, cheap dollar store or dollar chapstick, but it seems to hold up very, very well, at least from what I've seen. The Yojimbo. Okay, I did get a little bit right there, but for the most part, you don't see anything really on the blade itself. Obviously, I'm going to have rust in the liners and other areas that I didn't really apply to. But I really wasn't trying to actually scrub off the surface rust. I was just trying to see if I could get rust on the main blade, on the spine. Really didn't get anything right there. Now, this is just 2 coats of chapstick. I would probably do 3 normally, or I would probably reapply a coating every 2 to 3 hours. If I am using something like maxamet near water or anything like that. Polestar. This was supposed to be my control. No rust on this guy. Still operates very smoothly. I'll probably have to disassemble these guys or do more, put it in more of a industrial cleaner to get the rust out. Now, the Rex 45, I did get some rust on there, but I feel like that was just me possibly missing that area with the chapstick. Okay, I got some right over there, as you can tell. Okay. But for the most part, chapstick seems to be a very viable option when it comes to general maintenance. Now, if I'm going to recommend this, I really needed to test it out. I have tested it out. It seems to be holding up very, very well. I do like MagnaCut. It's impressed me a lot, at least on this Bradford Guardian it has. But for most people, a little bit of common sense, a little bit of general maintenance. Now, remind you that I did use some Windex between testing days, just because I wanted to make sure that that surface was clean. If you are using something like maxamet as your daily user, I'd probably come home, wipe the blade off, restrop the knife, put another quick coating on there, and you'd be set. I don't see why you would need something like MagnaCut. Although I do enjoy MagnaCut. Definitely like this better than H1 due to how much wear resistance it actually has. But I don't think people need to be afraid to carry tool steels, steels that are non-stainless. What you gain in edge retention versus, steels like H1. Now, I prefer more wear-resistant steels, but a little bit of common sense, I think, goes a long way.